This is 16.5. Shit, man.
Well, these guys talk about is girls and cash. These times they ain't even got none. It ain't hard to see when I step in the dance. The party's lit and it gets done. Turn up the music and we jump in. All the people around just jump in. Turn up the music and we jump in. All the people around just jump in. Bounce and vibe. Get the drink and we dance all night. Vibe and bounce. Get the drink and the girl on the couch. Bounce and vibe. Get the drink and we dance all night. Vibe and bounce. Get the drink and the girl on the couch.
Yes. Alright, thank you for coming down, my guy. Please let them know who you are and where you're from, bro.
Cool. So my name's Torcha from Ilford, in and around East. Born and bred there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, been there all my life.
Sick. How would you describe Ilford, bro?
Boy, right now it's a bit rough. Do you know what I mean? It's gone a bit downhill, if I'm honest, man. Which is a shame because it used to be a really nice area back in the day. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. It's not like it used to be. You get me? Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get back to that because you know what it is, yeah.
Go on.
When was Ilford safe for you?
If I'm honest, yeah. You see, when I was like around about 16, 17, there was always like, obviously there's drama everywhere, and there's always drama in that. But them times, I just feel like it wasn't as intense as it is now. Like back then, it was like you'd hear about like the maddest thing happening, and then you wouldn't hear another mad thing again for like maybe a couple months. But now it's like it just feels like it's every week. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like every week something like that. So yeah, man.
Fair enough. How would you say people described you? How would you describe yourself in one word, actually?
What? How people describe me? Calm. Like I'm a calm, humble guy. Do you get what I'm saying? I just do my thing really. Just me, my circle of people. Just do my thing. Concentrate on my music. You know what I mean? I've got a family now as well. You know, family man and that. Yeah. So I just keep myself to the music. You know what I'm saying? Confident as well when it comes to the barring as well. So when you go into that aspect of things, like people would definitely portray me as like confident guy and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think you obviously the confidence, I guess, that's going to be in the music as well. The calmness, do you think that's come out in the music recently or?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I've got like different aspects of my music. I mean, you'll see that I've got the hype stuff, the energetic stuff, the bossy stuff, talking about sick am, whatever. But then I've got that aspect of calmness as well. Do you know what I mean? Like the real stuff that I'm talking about and stuff like that. You get me? So.
Yes. So what, you grew up around Ilford, yeah?
Yeah. I grew up around Ilford, man, my whole life.
Yeah. Where did you go to school?
I went Lotsford.
Swear down.
Yeah,
I was Oxford.
Still. Huh?
I was Oxford.
It was alright still. It was alright.
Yeah?
I went Lotsford, then I went Barking College after that, man. And then, didn't go uni on that, and it was just straight into just the 9 to 5s. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're the grind.
Yeah.
I hear it.
You know what I mean?
So what first got you into music?
If I'm honest, like, in my household, all we ever did was play music. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, I had my mum and dad that was playing, you know, the old school Luther Vandross and stuff like that. But then I got an older brother and he used to always play Biggie and that. And I remember my mum used to just tell him off all the time, like, why are you playing that in front of my son? You know, the one's there, because he's like 11 years older than me and that. So when I was at 7, he's like 18 playing Biggie and that. So even from that 7, I was introduced into like rap and stuff like that. And then I kind of just took it on when I was about 13, started just rapping, just like hip hop at first. And I was rapping on like Tupac beats and Biggie beats and stuff like that. Then I slowly started to get introduced to Graham. And then the circle that I formed around me just happened to just do music. You know what I mean? And then that's how it happened.
Okay. So what kind of music would you say you make now?
Now I make a bit of everything if I'm honest, man. Like I've even started, like, for example, I do Graham, I do the hip hop, I jump on the drill, but I'd say it's more like Graham style on drill beats, if that makes sense. And then I've got a couple of Afro beats as well that I'm trying as well. Do you know what I mean? It depends where like once I'm in the studio, I just need a beat that just takes me to wherever I'm going, basically. You get me?
Okay, no, I like that. We'll talk about that. So when you're in the studio, or even before that, like, what would you say your creative process was?
Well, sometimes if I'm out and about, it's just like I might just have an idea that just clicks into my head. Like even while I'm driving, and then I pick up my phone and I'll just do a quick little voice note to myself, like if it's a flow or if it's a certain beat I've got in mind. And then once I get in, I'll just take it from there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it could just pop out of nowhere.
I I hear it.
Yeah, man.
And like with like that's where you work. Do you work with other artists a lot, or like?
Yeah. I collab with like my inner circle. Do you know what I'm saying? So I work with Nast. I worked with Nast. I got my boy Foley, who I've been doing a few tunes with as well. You get me? I got a song with Grim as well, as well. So yeah, man, I've got a few artists that I've worked with before, but mainly just like my inner circle. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I love that. And like, I mean, me personally, I'm a grandhead. I'm an East End as well.
Yeah.
Like, I love the ends. So obviously, you said two names that anyone who knows Grand from the ends would obviously last criminal.
Yeah.
Like these are. How is it? I guess like growing up around these man, also like working and collaborating with them. How was that as a?
Bro, the experience was lit, man. Like I do believe that it all comes around full circle. Because I remember when I was younger, because obviously they're like my age group, innit? Like, do you get me? We're all around about the same age. And when I was younger, like 17, I used to write my bars, watching these Westwood TV like episodes and that, whatever you call them, like show and Logan Sama and all of this, like the radio sets and that. And I used to always be like, no, I need to be around these guys, you know. But it just took years, bro. Like, it hasn't been. It's not like I've been doing music or speaking to them for that long. It was just like literally within the last few years I connected with them or whatever, and it just kind of just happened. But being around that, yeah, man, I've got some advice from them as well, and do you know what I'm saying? Like we've spoken about stuff. Yeah, it's good. Do you get me? It's you know, it's like I've listened to them, and then now I'm working with some of them as well, so it's good. But I've always been doing my own thing as well. You get what I mean? It's not just about the collabs. I'm concentrating just on myself. You get me?
No, of course. And obviously, I guess even to get to the point of collabing, you need to have your own setting going on.
100%.
So,
100%.
100, man. It's just a testament to yourself as well. So, I mean, yeah, we've talked about two UK artists, and you know, what you mentioned about the Westfield ciphers and stuff like that. Like, so have you got like personal top 5 artist list? Like, they're like, yeah, these men are the one.
Yeah. Like overall, was it 5 from US, 5 from UK? Or just
Let's do that. 5 from US, 5 from UK.
So UK gets Dot Rotten, Chip, Wretch 2. What am I forgetting? Probably P Money as well. Yeah, that was in my top 5. Some of them would actually get into my top, like my overall. To be honest, like I think Gets for me and Dot Rotten as well. If he was active, like them two were definitely like overall, bro. I think they're two of the greatest. US for me, J. Cole. That's my favorite overall rapper anyway. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Joyner Lucas. You know what? I think I'll keep it at them 3, to be honest. When I really deep it, I've actually just got a top 3. I don't really have a top 5.
No, that's fair, man.
Yeah, they're like
you ain't got to stretch it.
Anyone out of that, I'm just like, I'm not
It's
really
interesting. You said Joyner Lucas.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing he did when he rapped backwards
with a Flex?
Yeah. What do you think of stuff like that? Like, with
Mad.
regards to like.
Oh, bro, like the brain you gotta have to be able to pull that off, yeah, and for it to actually make sense. Because when you deep it, like it will go over some people's head, but when you listen to what he's saying backwards, it's all literally making sense. It's all backwards. There's no missing out any lines. He's literally doing the lines and explaining what, like, it's just mad. Like, so I think that's amazing talent to be able to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Something to look at and to be inspired by. Do you know what I mean?
100%, man. Some people could be, it's gimmicky, but I feel like the gimmick is if you're not pulling it off right.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
Alright, so for yourself, obviously, we've talked about artists, but what inspires you or who inspires you? Like, where do you draw inspiration from?
Mainly things that I've been through. So, for example, I remember I had a period where I was going through some stuff, and then obviously I wasn't really writing for a minute. And then I went through some depression, a bit of that sort of stuff. So then I kind of did a song about it, do you know what I mean? Like anxiety and stuff like that, talking about panic attacks and stuff that I've gone through that I don't really care what anyone thinks. Does that make sense? Man would just wear my heart on my sleeve and say what I've been through, do you know what I mean? Because as everyone knows, as men, like, we don't always chat about it. So that sort of stuff is what I've spoken about in my music. But what's happened is I've had to go through it to be able to write about it. And that's when I had writer's block as well. I didn't really want to do anything at that period in time, and then I wrote about it. Do you know what I'm saying? And then it just all made sense. And then yeah, man, I get my inspiration from what I'm going through. And also, like, on a random day, if I'm just out and then I hear the maddest beat that I'm writing, the maddest spin to it. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I heard that.
You know, like that. Like, I'm just like, oh, yeah, bro. Like, I'm just like, wow. Like, I have to get in with this, man. You again.
Yeah.
100%, man.
And it's interesting you just talked about obviously mental health because the next question was really going to be about one of the biggest obstacles you've had to face. So would you want to talk on that? I mean, if it doesn't have to be that, if that hasn't been one of your biggest obstacles.
No, that's definitely, for me, that was definitely one of the first things that, like one of the biggest things I've been through was like coping with mental health and that. So basically, like I've said it in my music anyway, but I went through some anxiety, some depression and stuff. Even went therapy for it, do you know what I mean? And I say this in my music as well, like there's a song called Panic Room that's on my Spotify. And when you listen to the words, I'm going through every single step that I went through. Do you know what I mean? Having a panic attack for the first time, going through depression, etc., the reasons why. And yeah, man, I've spoken about it many times before, do you know what I'm saying? And that's definitely like the biggest thing that I've had to go through, 100%. But, I'm through the other side now, do you know what I mean? And more motivated and inspired now, so yeah.
More power to you, bro. More power to you. And like, do you think that's like I guess from going through it, do you now feel like that's something you make a point to mention in your music, or is it just something that comes out?
No, it was just no. It's just something that like I said, like when I went through it, music for me is therapy anyway. So I just wanted to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like banging on about it. It is important. I do believe it is definitely important to talk about it when, as men, we don't really talk about it that much. Do you know what I mean? We've got this pride or ego sort of thing. But for me, it was like, I'm going to give you this, hear my story, and that's that. And I might touch on it again down the line, but for now, that was my story. I'm through that now. Now it's on to the next thing. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, great. I like the way you phrased it as like the music is also part of the therapy. Like,
100%, man.
Yeah. 100. So, talk about other obstacles, like coming from the ends. Things happen, right? We get to situations. So,
100%.
like, have you ever been to jail or been arrested?
I've been arrested. I've never been to jail though. Do you know what I'm saying?
We've been arrested for, bro.
Just it wasn't even that deep. Just like a fray. Do you know what I'm saying? Just beefing on road type of thing like that. Getting caught. Do you know what I mean? 23 hours in the cell. Not glamorizing it or anything, but yeah, that's it. That was it really. And it was just the once as well, do you know what I mean? Everything other than that, it's just been beef here and there, but nothing really came of it, do you know what I mean?